Porter Airlines Embraer 195-E2 Porter Reserve is a really long name for what is essentially a simple product. It's basically economy class with extra leg room and a free meal. Free alcohol, too. I quite enjoyed my recent 4-hour flight with them from San Diego to Toronto, and, well, if I was Air Canada, I'd be worried. Hey everyone, welcome to the San Diego International Airport. Current time is 11:30 a.m., which is perfect because I'm here to catch a Porter Airlines flight to Toronto that is departing at 2:05 p.m. I'm a little early, and that's fine because it's not very often we get new Canadian airlines to this airport, so I don't want to miss this. So yeah, Porter Airlines is now serving San Diego with the Embraer 195-E2 all the way to Toronto Pearson Airport. It's a scheduled flying time of 4 hours and 17 minutes, which is a long way on a little E-jet, but I'm excited about this. Maybe too excited, actually, because I seem to be the only person here at the check-in counter. Completely typical for a SANspotter video, I guess. So if it wasn't obvious by now, Porter Airlines flies out of Terminal 2 here at the San Diego airport. This particular flight is going out of gate 48, and guess what? It's delayed. Which shouldn't have surprised me because in the weeks leading up to this flight, I had been tracking its on-time performance, and let's just say it hasn't been good. But that was perfectly fine because it gave me a really good opportunity to test out the all-new Chase Sapphire Lounge, located here in Terminal 2, right near Gate 47. And all I'm going to say is that this is the best lounge that we have at the San Diego airport at the time of this video. In addition to all that delicious-looking food you just saw, they have a fully staffed kitchen in here, and the menu is excellent. This place is definitely worth checking out, as long as you have the credentials to get in. They certainly don't make it easy. Finally, it's a little bit late, about 30 minutes behind schedule at this point, but this is the Porter Airlines Embraer 195-E2 arriving from Toronto, and this is my first time seeing one of these things in real life, and I gotta say, it looks pretty cool. The highlight feature of this aircraft, by far, are the engines. These are Pratt & Whitney PW1900Gs, which is a geared turbofan engine, and they look great on that tiny little fuselage. And not only that, this aircraft has a range of 2,600 nautical miles, which is 4,800 kilometers, and, well, basically what I'm trying to say is that flying all the way from San Diego to Toronto in a little Embraer regional jet was not something I could have predicted. But here we are. We're about 30 minutes behind schedule at this point. Porter Reserve passengers got to go first, and there weren't that many of us. I think there were 4 total. And from what I could tell, there weren't that many people behind us, so they got this aircraft loaded really quickly. There are 16 Porter Reserve seats on the Embraer. Oh, a little bit of trash there. Anyway, like I was saying, there are 16 Porter Reserve seats on the Embraer 195-E2. It's a 2-2 configuration. Rows 1 through 4 are Porter Reserve. And yeah, it's basically economy, like I was saying before, but with a lot more leg room. It's 36 inches up here compared to 30 inches back in economy, so it feels really spacious. And for those of you who don't know, I am 5'10", so I think that anyone under 6 feet tall is going to be absolutely swimming in these seats. If you're over 6 feet tall, these are absolutely the seats that you want to get, especially on longer flights, because I can only imagine how tight economy is going to feel, especially considering how narrow these seats are. This Porter Reserve seat is the same width as the economy seats, And I'm not gonna lie, it felt narrow, but this extra legroom made all the difference. And I would highly recommend this if you can swing it. And speaking of swinging it, this is actually a lot cheaper than what Air Canada charges for business class. So, for most people, this is going to be a much better option. It is 2:27 p.m. now as we're pushing off the gate. That puts us about 22 minutes behind schedule, which isn't bad. I had to go back and look at the on-time performance data for this flight. I'm doing it right now, as a matter of fact, as I record this voiceover. And come to find out, it goes out early 47% of the time. It's on time 9%. It's 15 minutes late 16% of the time. And 45 minutes late 28% of the time. So, okay, yeah, maybe I was slightly exaggerating about it being late all the time, but still, being 45 minutes late about 30% of the time is not good. And, well, let's just hope they can get everything figured out before Air Canada drives them out of San Diego. For good. And finally, right before we take off, I just want to encourage you to sign up for the SANspotter newsletter, which is what you want to be subscribed to if you want behind-the-scenes info about all of the trips that I take, as well as my unfiltered thoughts about the airline industry as a whole. I highly recommend it. One of the reasons why I wanted to take this flight is because I knew there was going to be food. I wasn't expecting it to be great food, but I was curious nonetheless. It should be noted that it's only the Porter Reserve customers that get a free meal. Everyone on the plane has full access to this menu, but it's only the Porter Reserve customers that don't have to pay. So this menu looks good, and what's interesting about Porter Airlines is that they market these meals as healthy. Yeah, they were, kind of, at least compared to what other airlines are serving. These are more light options, and remember, there are no kitchens installed here on the Embraer regional jets, so everything is served cold, and it really limits the kinds of food that they can serve. Anyway, eating in Porter Airlines Porter Reserve class is interesting. Basically what happens is you get two boxes. You get this main box here, which everybody gets, no matter what you order, which contains the utensils, a little muffin, which I didn't even try, because there was crackers, and then also this little container here, which contained a salad. And this right here is the main course. This is what I chose off the menu. It is the pre chicken salad. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. And it was not exactly what I was expecting. And remember, these are pre-packaged, refrigerated meals, so it's not going to be anything fancy, but it will be healthy-ish. This was mostly just beans and vegetables and little chicken pieces. I have no idea what that white sauce was, but it was okay. It was definitely a little bit less than I was expecting. And it's worth noting that alcohol is free here in Porter Reserve, along with everything else, so it's a pretty good value in my opinion. Especially considering that this was just a fraction of what Air Canada charges for business class, so not that bad actually. Service is a little slow, but not bad. I wasn't even going to show this part, but what the heck. Welcome to the forward lavatory here on the E195-E2. It's not that exciting. Anyway, yes, there are power outlets in these seats, which will come in handy because there is also free in-flight entertainment and free Wi-Fi as well, though you do need to be a Porter Reserve member to get totally free Wi-Fi. But if you're not a member, it's okay, you still have access. You just have to sit through ads, that's all. Anyway, the streaming in-flight entertainment was really good. No issues. If I had one criticism about this entire experience, is that the cabin crew was basically gone after the meal service. I did not see them at all. So garbage was piling up, and there were no drink refills for a majority of the flight. Speaking of overall comfort, these seats aren't so bad actually. As I said earlier, they are narrow, but they do recline more than the regular economy seats do. These seats recline a total of 6 inches, whereas the economy seats recline only 2, so that's good. And yes, I am very happy to report that the cabin crew came back through the cabin about an hour prior to landing with more snacks and drinks. I'll take a Diet Coke. Thank you very much. And, yeah, at the spot. By the time we started making the approach into Toronto, I was thinking that this pretty much went exactly how I thought it would. I knew it wasn't going to be great, and I knew it wasn't going to be quite as good as what Air Canada offers, at least in business class, but I'll be honest, there were some things about this experience, such as the generous legroom and the in-flight entertainment, which really kind of blew me away. I really wasn't expecting it to be that good, but on the other hand, the total lack of enthusiasm from the cabin crew was, I don't know, it just made the entire experience feel cheap to me. Once they served the meal, they were gone. I didn't see them at all. They didn't even walk through the cabin. There was one flight attendant who actually sat down next to the person who was sitting across the aisle from me. They were obviously friends, they knew each other. And they didn't really show any interest in making it a true or a proper business class experience. But I knew that. I knew this wasn't proper business class. It's cheap business class. It's a great alternative to Air Canada if you don't want to spend the money. And yeah, I think I can highly recommend it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.